Hi everyone, this is Gip Erskine, founder of EverSmarts for Property Managers, and I'm here to share another Gip tip on successful planning. You'll remember from the last Gip tip the importance of prioritization? Well, this tip will breathe life into those priorities and position them on your calendar. Well, if you're like me, you love to plan vacations. Show me a picture of a sunset over water or a gentle turquoise surf lapping up against a white sandy beach, and I am mesmerized. Sure, sifting through the airfare and car rental details may get a little annoying, but it's all worth it as you visualize where you'll be. Well, for many of us, we spend more time planning our vacations than we do planning our lives. Well, think about it. We actually calculate how we spend our time and money more than how we earn a living, provide for our families, and grow in our careers. Well, in this message, I'm going to talk about planning your day in the life of a property manager and give you order over the chaos so you can arrive home at a decent hour knowing that your contributions actually paid off. Sound good? Okay. Full disclosure, I've spent over 30 years at this, and I do only those things that work for me. I'm sharing them with you so you can see whether or not these routines can work for you. Well, hopefully, you'll be able to apply this knowledge and come away with some positive experience for yourself that you'd like to duplicate. So for me, my perfect workday starts the night before. If I'm going to knock it out of the park, as I intend to do every day, I need to be well rested. I go to bed early so I can wake up early. You see, I do my best work early in the morning before the city, including my tenants and the building, even wake up. So I set my alarm for 4:30 a.m. and I hit the ground running. At that time, my head is full of ideas. I need to capture them, so I scramble out of bed and write them down. After that, I make a list of the things weighing on my mind that need to get done. You know, those things that might not need to get done that day, just so you don't forget about them. I have to write everything down. I identify with whoever said, "I've got a mind like a steel sieve." I write down everything. So once that's done, I do a quick check of my iPhone and make sure there's no building emergencies. I mean, quick. I don't spend time reading emails. I just check for anything urgent. That's it. Then I get moving. That's part 2 of my morning routine. For me, that's 15 to 20 minutes of physical exercise. I keep some dumbbells and a Swiss ball in my closet, and I listen to inspirational music or a cool podcast just to get my blood flowing and oxygen to my brain. I crank up the shower, and as I let the shower heat up, I go back to my iPhone and scan the day's calendar. Because I usually run at lunchtime, I want to make sure there's no conflicts or other meetings that prevent me from getting in a midday run. So if the run looks doable, then I check the weather and see what running clothes I should pack. I shower, shave, get dressed, eat a healthy breakfast, pack some snacks and a healthy lunch, and head off to work. Okay, right now you might be saying, "Gip, these actions have nothing to do with planning your day." Well, you're right. But I share this routine only so you can see how I get into the right mindset for actual planning. It's the preparation stage. It's really important for you to do to get the most from your planning. And I didn't become a morning person overnight. It took a while of conditioning, setting the alarm clock earlier and earlier until I found that perfect balance. But I had to be intentional about it, and that required some forethought. Okay, well, that's the preparation stage, or the pre-planning setup that I do from home. When I arrive at the property, usually around 6 a.m., I write down all my appointments and my day timer for that day. I mean, the act of writing these time commitments actually enable me to acknowledge all the components of the workday and see where things might get crunchy or too tight and where I need to incorporate some space, but more on that in a little bit. I write down all time commitments, including my lunchtime run and dinner with my daughters. Just about the only things I don't write down on the calendar is sleep and my morning routine. Those I have pretty well down pat. Now, before I dive deeper into the actual planning process, I want to describe, my intentions. Okay, so here's some background. Back in 2012, I formed a partnership with a dear colleague and began having daily accountability calls. It's been the most incredibly wonderful element of my day, and here's why. It keeps me focused on what's important. It keeps me accountable for my commitments, and it propels me toward my goals like nothing else I've ever done. So here's why I begin to truly plan my day. My call with my accountability partner starts at 6:45 a.m. and usually lasts about 15 minutes. Sometimes we go longer, but it's usually a short call. With our management office opening at 8:30, that gives me about 90 minutes of uninterrupted focus time to concentrate on my priorities. So how do I plan? Okay, well, part of the goal achievement process is breaking things down into bite-sized parts. Jack Canfield calls this chunking it down. I commit doing and reporting on what I call GIP's Big Three. So what are they? Well, they're the top 3 priority actions that I can take that move me toward my goal, whatever that is. Some days it's committing to writing a blog post, reviewing a white paper, completing a training module of a course I'm taking. Other days it's organizing my desk so I can clear the clutter, complete an open project, and make 3 important phone calls. If I get distracted, I should say when I get distracted, I return my focus to the big 3 priorities until they can be taken no further. Then I go to the next one. So now that I've got the 3 main priorities of focus for the day, it's time to schedule them. I may be able to tackle the first 1 or 2 in the next hour, but my job is to complete all 3 by the end of the day. Well, here's where the concept of space planning comes in. No, not the architectural term. My idea of space planning deals with time alone. Some things we property managers are notoriously guilty of is cramming our calendar full of meetings and conference calls whenever we have any openings. Then somehow we act surprised when life shows up and derails our entire day. Well, as I'm sure you can attest, this is a mistake. It's a mistake to go back to back for any duration. Sometimes it's unavoidable, I get that. But if so, it's vital that you build in some space the next day. So remember, we are least productive in meetings. We all know that. And we're most productive when we're fully engaged in our top priority action items. Meetings certainly have their place, to be sure. But they should be primarily for exchanging information and ideas, exchanging assignments, and planning for future actions. So now I want to introduce you to a graphic called Your Space Planned Day. So take a look at this graphic and I'll walk you through the steps. First, as I mentioned, you wake up. At the top left, there's wake and then prep. That's preparing your mindset. The next thing after I get into the office, I plan. That's planning out GIP's Big Three. And then I get to work on the first of the Big Three. This one is really my greatest long-term benefit, the one that's going to give me the most impact over a 5 to 10 year time horizon. It's the purpose-driven task that I do. It is the most important for me. Then I take a break. It's a mid-morning break. Then I allow life to show up. Sure, there might be a meeting or 2 in there, but this is the space that I'm allowing for the day to unfold. Then I take a little longer break. It's around lunchtime. That's where I get in my midday run. Then the second of my Big Three, and that has the greatest mid-range benefits. This is more strategy-driven. This is more 6 months to 1 year time horizon. This is not anything that needs to be done today. Then I build them some space for life to show up. And then before the day's end, I've got to focus on that third one. And so I'm going to budget some time in there to do my time-driven Big Three, the third of my Big Three items. And that gives me the greatest short-term benefit. As we get to the end of our days, and our desk is still a clutter with all open projects, we're only going to do what is absolutely imperative for us to complete. And so that's what I want to make certain that I do, and that's going to be the one that's most time-sensitive thing for me. So for now, that's it. I want you to put these planning techniques to work for you, and I think it'll help you think better on your feet. It'll help you acknowledge the time constraints of your day and allow you to get the largest impacts done before the day's out. I look forward to sharing more GIP tips with you in the future. Until then, this is Gip Erskine with EverSmarts for Property Managers, wishing you all the success you desire. Thanks for watching.